listening to the Blair Bitch Project, where we correct the lies the regressive left and mainstream media tell us one fact at a time.
All right, this is my first live broadcast, first time we've done this. For those of you who don't know, we've been launching a new podcast the last little while, and we'll be having some guests on, and obviously we'll be talking politics and all of those fun things. Tonight's an exciting night. I hope everybody's as happy as I am with the Supreme Court pick. It was Brett Kavanaugh, for those of you that don't know yet. I had hoped it would be Amy Barrett, just mainly because I really wanted to watch the left attack a woman and a religious woman like they would. I would assume now their tactic will be that Trump's misogynist because he didn't pick a woman, but whatever, it doesn't matter. You can't do anything to make those people happy. But anyway, it was Brett Kavanaugh that came up, and he is the new selection for anybody not really aware of him. He worked for George W. Bush. Actually, he was quite a foe of the Clintons, so they're not going to be happy tonight. Perhaps that was the reasoning behind the pick. He went to Yale for his schooling. He's got a lot of decisions out there. He's been around a long time. He's got a lot of experience. A little bit controversial. I think there's a few conservatives that might not be thrilled with the decision, but I think overall it's a big win tonight. And we'll be watching the left now take their number one tactic to school here, where they like to character assassinate anybody that might disagree with them, or perhaps not allow them to get their way, which is something they tend to always want to do. So anyway, excited about that. I guess now what we can do is we can watch the left rage and scream and cry and break down. They've been doing it ever since Kennedy actually resigned. For those of you that actually remember when Kennedy got put up, the Democrats obviously attacked him too. He ended up being a bit of a swing vote, would go both ways. He gave them some favorable decisions, but they attacked him too. They've attacked every conservative judge that's been ever appointed to the Supreme Court, and that's just the way they are. I was watching the Five earlier today, and Juan Williams, of course, was going on and crying about the fact that Trump's going to put a judge on the bench that's going to uphold conservative values and rubber stamp conservative policy, etc. But you never hear them complain when somebody like Ginsburg goes up, who's like an activist judge. I mean, they don't even believe in following the Constitution, which is the whole point of the thing. They have this opinion that their views, their feelings are more important. They should get a say. The people on the right shouldn't. They're better people. They're superior. And they show us that with their tempers, anger, outrage over everything. And it's exhausting. It's actually one of the reasons why I've decided I want to start this podcast. I'm looking forward to having some great people on to discuss politics, to try and, I guess, clear up all the misconceptions that the news puts out, the fake narratives that are pushed. It's astounding when you dig into it and you find out how much we're lied to every day, how much of this narrative is untrue, and really it's amazing how many of these lefties really don't know the truth. I mean, when you talk to them, they've been so brainwashed. It starts in their schools, works through their college education, where they're extremely indoctrinated. They're basically fed falsehoods, lies, and punished if they don't think accordingly. And we see that carry right through. They use character assassination, attacks, and racism be one of their favorite go-to weapons. And obviously Trump has infuriated them because he came along and the racist claims didn't stick, the bigot, whatever they want to throw out, it didn't stick, and it drives them insane. And so it's been really fun watching Trump get in as a president. It's been exciting to watch the left throw everything they can at him, and it doesn't work this time. I think that the people have finally woken up, and Trump has really exposed the media, and that's why they hate him. I mean, let's be honest, we've never seen media hate, media bias to this degree, and the reason for that is that Trump has exposed them. He's really awoken the people up to how dishonest they are, how manipulative they are, how they really try to impose their feelings on the rest of the country. And now that they can't, they'll do anything to tear the man down. So this Supreme Court pick is probably going to drive them into rage, because now we've got another Supreme Court vote. This ensures, they're not going to be able to take your guns. This ensures a lot of wins for the next 30, 40 years for the conservative movement, and this is something they can't handle. The left is incapable of they can't handle it when they don't get their way. They're like spoiled children, and we see this every day. Now, obviously the scary thing that we're watching, though, is as they get more and more desperate, they're getting more and more vitriolic, more violent, more angry. They're attacking and mobbing and assaulting people almost in record levels these days. We're seeing almost that as a daily occurrence across the country. They're attacking kids and children and women, and Sarah Huckabee Sanders and all of them. I mean, they are searching them out. You've got really lunatics like Maxine Waters, who, it's hard to believe she holds public office, but she's out there calling on mobs to harass, bully, intimidate, and stalk conservatives and people in office. And what they really want to do is they want to silence you. At the end of the day, the goal of the left is censorship, silence, and control. They don't want free speech. They don't want free thought. They want to program you. They don't want you to buck the system. And they've actually eaten their own. People always, they use the word liberal a lot. Liberals. I don't like to use the word liberals. I use lefties or left, because I really think that the liberals are kind of the people with no home base today. They sort of woke up and realized that the center line has been moved, and they're really no longer on the left. So I really try to make the distinction, because really what we need those liberals to join us and make common with us here on this cause, because they do believe in free speech. They don't like bullies. We do have some things we can agree on. Right now, I think they're a little shocked. They're a little scared into silence. We see guys like Dave Rubin out there, who does a great job of trying to bridge that gap and bring some of these voices together that we're in areas that can be agreed upon to try to move things forward. The divisiveness, the ugliness is really almost at record levels these days. The country is divided. The media blames Trump for the division, but the reality is that the media is at the heart of the division. It's not Trump that says the things that he says. Trump makes a comment that everybody on the right, we know what he means. We know when he's joking. We know when it's a harmless remark, but the media will take that remark and they will spin it to be the absolute worst interpretation possible, and then some, and then they pump it out. They control over 90% of the media out there. I mean, when you run it up the poll, at the end of the day, there's 7 or 8 major companies that are left leaning, owned by progressive lefties, and they drive the narrative for over 90% of the media, which is why 90% of the coverage is negative on Trump. They hate him. They want to stop him. They can't control him, and they'll really stop at nothing. So, what happens next? Well, now we're going to get into these confirmation hearings. They're going to be ugly. They're going to dig up everything they can. I'm excited to watch these confirmation hearings. I think Brett Kavanaugh is probably going to be similar to Gorsuch. I think he's going to be able to hold his own. He's going to make a lot of these Democratic senators look ridiculous and foolish. And I think that what's going to happen is that we're going to see really them implode further. They're going to damage themselves even more heading into the midterms, which is good for the Republicans. I worry a little bit about the violence. The left has always been more violent. They like to riot and destroy their cities and their schools and their neighborhoods and all that. They like to burn them down. And so I worry that we're going to see a little bit of that coming out. You got lunatics like Michael Moore trying to say he's going to bring 1 million people to the Capitol and throwing out threats like this. I mean, they use bully tactics, and we do have to be a little bit worried about that and be concerned about it. But I think the left doesn't really realize who they're picking a fight with. I think that they've gotten away with this for 50 years, pushing people around, trying to destroy people's lives for so long without any real pushback or retaliation. And they're crossing the line a little bit too far, and they're picking a fight with the side that has all the guns. I mean, you look at all these Antifa guys; they're 90 pounds soaking wet. They're in black ski masks, lugging their weapons around. batons and bike locks and crap like that, and you know, if they want to, you know, step up, they're going to be really sorry that they picked this war. I just think that they have gotten away with so much for so long. They really have not thought this thing through, so it's not going to end well for anybody. But very happy with the decision tonight. I was actually obviously looking forward to Barrett more, because I think the confirmation hearings would have been funner. I think the left would have been able to put their foot in their mouths far more, damage them far more. But I'm sure that they'll go hard after Kavanaugh and make fools of themselves. They're very, very good at that. So, you know, enjoy the next few weeks here as this goes on. Hopefully Trump will get him in and approved before the midterms, and we'll have another vote, and everybody can sit and sleep easy that they're going to be able to keep those guns, and we're going to be able to keep pushing forward with freedom of speech and some other things that the liberals have, you know, or sorry, not liberals, I should stick to my terminology, the left is trying to take away and destroy. I guess the other thing too to worry about is the Democrat Party really has moved to socialism. There's over 100 elected Democrats that are a part of official members of the Democratic Socialist Party. So that movement is growing. And when you see the leader of the DNC, Tom Perez, actually state that Ortiz lady who won in New York City there as being the new face of the party, it's a pretty big admission that they are moving towards socialism. You know, that party's on their website, it says something like no profits, no borders. You know, they don't want law and order, they want lawlessness, and they don't want free market. They don't want to live in a capitalistic country. And so, you know, if they get their way, the country's in big trouble. And so I think people need to really pay attention to this. They need to make sure they get out and vote, and they need to make sure that they speak up. It's not the time to sit back. I know things are great. The country's doing great. Economy's good. Taxes are done. We got 2 SCOTUS picks now. Things seem great, and people get complicit when this happens. And you're going to have to really not get complicit, because if they get in November, if they take the House and the Senate, they will do everything in their power to impeach Trump. So stay vigilant on that. And that's what this podcast is going to be about. So I will be bringing on some experts moving forward who will be coming on. We'll be doing interviews, hopefully get some great people that you're all aware of out there in Twitter world. And we'll carry forward these conversations. And I'll be sharing out just some of my ideas and theories around, you know, how the Democrat Party has you know, what their strategy has been the last 50 plus years, where they're at, and really how Trump stopped it. I mean, I think my belief is that Trump was sort of the last stop. If Hillary had won, the Democrats would have been in power for a really long time. And I'll get into that in another thing. I just wanted to hop on today because I'm so happy about this pick. I'm so happy watching these lefties explode and blow up and not get their way. They're bullies. They're not good people. And there's nothing better than seeing people like that not get their way. So thanks for jumping in. Again, this was the first time I've gone live, so we've never really done this before. Next time what we'll do is we'll get the chat opens up. We'll take questions. I look forward to talking to you guys all again soon. Bye now.